Hello and welcome to Lyra. And today marks the second part of our series on cancer. If you haven't watched the first part yet, I highly encourage you to do so, so that you understand better why we recommend what we recommend in this part of the presentation, in which we will talk about the supplements, the natural supplements, which will help you to prevent and support your cancer therapy. And if you haven't watched the first part yet, as I've mentioned, highly recommended so you understand what happens in your body, what causes the cancer in the first place, from microparasites to the psycho-emotional conflicts that you have to take care of. I'm going to link it in the description box below for you. But today, let's talk about supplements that really work to prevent and support cancer therapy. And for any cancer therapy to be successful, we have created what we call the 10 Commandments. And they're all related to your lifestyle, because you must understand that you have to change your lifestyle right away when you get a cancer diagnosis. And here are our 10 Commandments, if you want to call them like this. So your first aid, so to speak. First, you need to take care of your breathing and change your breathing patterns in order to increase the cellular oxygenation by increasing the carbon dioxide concentration in your blood. Secondly, start intermittent fasting. Live only with one meal per day if possible, for example, chicken broth and or leafy greens juices. Also, you must detoxify your colon by visiting weekly or bi-weekly colonics therapist. Coffee enema is unfortunately not enough in this case when you're suffering from cancer. Also, you must work on your body mechanics, so check up on your posture, especially on the atlas sacrum alignment. Take care also of detoxifying your lymphatic system and thus your connective tissue through breathing and moving your body for a minimum of 2 hours per day. Detoxifying your liver also with leafy green juices is very important, as well as support for your kidneys by drinking 1 gallon of spring water per day. Also take care of your sleeping patterns and improve them through correct sleeping position as well as diaphragm breathing. You must also find your specific cancer triggers, so the traumatic, shocking psycho-emotional conflicts that have caused or co-caused, if you want to say so, the cancer, and try to induce a fast conflict resolution to those. Stop also thinking and talking all the time about your cancer. Let it go mentally and emotionally, and do not live in a so-called cancer tunnel with an oncoming train all the time, if you can. And also do not isolate yourself. Continue as much as possible your normal social and family lifestyle, and set new goals and keep on going. Alright, and with those general rules out of the way, let's dive right into the supplements that will help you. And first on the list is vitamin D3. You need about 50,000 units of vitamin D3 per day combined with vitamin K2 for improved absorption. And why do you need vitamin D? Because there are numerous studies on vitamin D in relation to cancer risk, and from the 63 studies, 30 refer to colon cancer, 13 to breast cancer, 26 to prostate cancer, and 7 to ovarian cancer. And several other studies have assessed the association of vitamin D receptor genotypes with cancer risk as well. And the majority of the studies found a protective relationship between sufficient vitamin D status and a lower risk of cancer. And the evidence also suggests that efforts to improve vitamin D status, for example by vitamin D supplementation, greatly reduces cancer incidence and mortality at a very low cost with few or no adverse effects. Vitamin D deficiency accounts for several thousand premature deaths from colon, breast, ovarian, and prostate cancer, And this discovery creates a new impetus for ensuring adequate vitamin D intake in order to reduce the risk of cancer. And for many cancers, mortality rates in the US are the lowest in the southwestern and the highest in the northeastern states, and that also shows you that cancer and mortality from cancer has something to do with how much sunlight you absorb and therefore how much vitamin D you produce. And also, according to later ecological studies, 22 cancers have incidence of mortality rates inversely correlated with the solar UVB doses in the US for white individuals, which includes Hispanic heritage as well. And that goes for all of those cancers that you can see listed here, starting with bladder cancer, breast, colon, endometrial, esophageal, gallbladder, kidney, laryngeal, liver, etc., etc. Also, recent knowledge on vitamin D has shown that its active form has significant antimitotic and cell differentiation effects. So it can inhibit proliferation, angiogenesis, and metastatic potential in cancer tissue. Insufficient vitamin D plasma levels are found in 20 to 60% of cancer patients. And according to many authors, vitamin D deficiency is also associated with higher aggressivity of tumors and a shorter survival of patients. And owing to the high prevalence of vitamin D insufficiency in cancer patients and significant risks of its further decrease after anti-tumor therapy, it should become standard care procedure to examine 25 hydroxy vitamin D serum levels and the correct vitamin D insufficiency to correct it in the cancer patients. The next important supplements on the list are L-carnitine and L-arginine. Why? Because acetyl L-carnitine, also known as Alcar, of which you should take about 2 to 4 grams per day, by the way, is a mitochondrial boosting supplement that is specific for the brain, but it also improves the mood, the learning, and the memory capabilities. Alcar also helps your muscle mitochondria to burn fat, which can increase your endurance and help you recover faster. For nootropic benefits, take 2 grams of Alcar per day, and for better endurance and faster recovery, you should take 2 to 3 grams of Alcar per day before your workout or half afterward. L-carnitine, if you take 4 grams per day, plays a crucial role also in the production of energy by transporting fatty acids into your cell's mitochondria. And the mitochondria acts as an engine within your cells, and burning these fats creates usable energy. Your body can produce L-carnitine also out of the amino acids lysine and methionine. And for your body to produce it in sufficient amounts, you also need plenty of vitamin C. L-carnitine is produced in your body in small amounts also by eating animal products such as meat or fish, by the way. And carnitine plays an important role in the metabolism of fatty acids, and an L-carnitine deficiency is associated with a feeling of weakness or general fatigue. And cancer patients who receive chemotherapy often develop L-carnitine deficiencies, which is also considered to be the factor that contributes to their feeling of general fatigue. Second here on the list is L-arginine, of which you should supplement with 5 grams per day. It is an amino acid that plays many different important roles in the body, such as that it regulates the blood pressure and circulation via nitric oxide. It also removes ammonia from the body. Ammonia is very toxic and it must be removed by arginine, which helps the kidneys to convert ammonia into the less toxic urea and also to synthesize creatine and ornithine. L-arginine supplementation inhibits the growth of breast cancer, as it has been shown in studies, by enhancing innate and adaptive immune responses that are mediated by the suppression of the so-called MDSCs in vivo. Arginine is also involved in a number of biosynthetic pathways that significantly influence carcinogenesis as well as tumor biology. And since the discovery that arginine metabolism generates a ubiquitous signal transduction molecule, namely nitric oxide, arginine-derived nitrous oxide, has been found to play a significant role in many of the specific events that lead to cancer. And although the biochemistry of nitrous oxide is simplistic, its role in tumor biology is extremely complex. Nitrous oxide has been shown to have conflicting roles with seemingly opposite effects in tumor initiation, promotion, as well as progression. Other supplements that will greatly help you with your cancer treatment and also for prevention of cancer are quercetin and ubiquinol or Q10. Quercetin you should take about 50 milligrams per kilogram of weight. Usually it is about 10 to 20 capsules per day. Why should you take it? Because quercetin is a master flavonoid. It's a very strong antioxidant and one of the best natural antihistamine supplements. It can powerfully stabilize mast cells and reduce inflammation. It neutralizes free radicals and ROS. It protects tissues and organs in the whole body. It reduces oxidative damage to fats, which reduces cholesterol and protects against artery clogging. It's also great against heart diseases and neurodegenerative diseases. It boosts the levels of glutathione. It's a master antioxidant. It also increases the blood's overall antioxidant power. It reduces inflammations by blocking important inflammatory substances and pathways, including COX-2 and CRP. It also is a great fighter against bacteria and viruses. It blocks the release of histamine. It also reduces allergies and mast cell activation. All flavonoids can inhibit the growth of cancer cells with an ability to act as a so-called chemopreventer. And their cancer preventive effects have been attributed to various mechanisms, including the induction of cell cycle arrest and or apoptosis, as well as the antioxidant functions. And quercetin users saw a 51% reduction in lung cancer risk and a 65% reduction amongst smokers. For colon cancer, there was a 32% reduction in risk, and for stomach cancer, a 43% reduction. Quercetin also has the ability to stop the process that can turn healthy cells into malignant ones by protecting the cellular DNA from mutations that can lead to cancer. And it does this by literally freezing cancer cells, even if they are producing rapidly, and returning them back to an early stage of their development. And this reversal process triggers apoptosis and cancer cell death. And as a preventative, quercetin also acts as a watchdog for abnormally signaling cell pathways, which could potentially turn cancerous. And there are over 17,000 clinical studies so far on quercetin and its effects on cancer. Ubiquinol, the second on the list here, also known as Q10 or CoQ10, coenzyme Q10. You should take about 400 milligrams per day. It is a coenzyme that is present in most cell bodies of animals and is located primarily in the mitochondria. Ubiquinol is a derivative of CoQ10 that is fully reduced and saturated with extra electrons to assist in bodily absorbance. Both CoQ10 and ubiquinol are key components in the electron transport chain, and they facilitate the production of ATP in redox reactions. Ubiquinol also prevents cellular stress. It decreases oxidative levels, but also the levels of free radicals in the skin. It also increases antioxidant capacity of your heart. Ubiquinol is also used as a marker for human patients that develop lung adenocarcinomas that lead to lung cancer, allowing protective measures to be taken. Ubiquinol taken by human patients that suffer from clear cell renal cell carcinoma increases survival rates through increasing cell metabolism even after kidney removal, and CoQ10 also decreases non-fasting glucose and blood pressure. In diabetic patients that suffer from diabetic eye damage, a supplementation of ubiquinol and CoQ10 also has been shown to reduce and reverse its effects as well as improve nerve function. And coenzyme Q10 taken as ubiquinol reduces the microRNA that is indicative of drug-related liver damage as well. Liver myopathy is also reversed with CoQ10 supplementation without damaging the tissues. Next on the list are grapeseed extract and sulfur. Why? Because grapeseed extract, of which you should take, by the way, about 3 caps per day, one capsule with each meal. OPC reduces blood pressure by opening up your capillaries. It also possesses nootropic and anti-stress activities and effects. Grapeseed extract also reduces the aggregation of brain amyloid cells. It improves cognition and reduces the risk of Alzheimer's, as well as increasing good sulfur compounds in the hippocampus. Grapeseed extract was shown to significantly reduce many of the negative symptoms of IBS, and the extra increases also intestinal integrity. It lowers inflammations. It improves osteo and rheumatoid arthritis symptoms. It ameliorates asthma, lung inflammations, and also possesses anti-allergenic activities. Grapeseed extract is also able to stop the proliferation of prostate cancer cells and cause the cancer cells to die. A study on head and neck squamous cell carcinoma found that the grapeseed extract destroyed the damaged DNA and induced cell death in the cancerous cells selectively. And grapeseed extract was also able to protect against the development of UV-induced skin tumors, also better known as skin carcinomas. Grapeseed extract was also able to reduce tumor multiplicity by 50%, and this reduction was dependent on what type of food the extract was administered with. OPC stops and reduces tumor growth in general by inhibiting the angiogenesis in the tumors, and we will develop more on this anti-cancer bioactivity of OPC, more content for you to come soon. So subscribe to our channel and hit the notifications button so you don't miss out on that. Second on the list here, sulfur and structured water as well as sunlight. You should take sulfur as MSM or STS 3 to 5 grams per day, because MSM is a very strong antioxidant as well as a methyl donor or methyl donor. MSM decreases inflammatory cytokines. It also helps rebuild the lining of your digestive tract. It treats arthritis and joint pain. It relieves allergies. It is also a cytostatic supplement for cancer in the colon, the breast, as well as melanoma cells. It is also very effective in removing worms, giardia, as well as trichomonas. It helps in interstitial cystitis, also called painful bladder syndrome, which is a chronic inflammation of the bladder that causes bladder pain and frequent urination. And while organic sulfur is a superb cancer treatment by itself, if you add also vitamin C, it's like adding chocolate sauce to vanilla ice cream. Because MSM by itself in high doses, so 2 tablespoons of the crystals, while it is a superb cancer treatment for advanced cancer patients because of its ability to get rid of the lactic acid in the bloodstream and also kill microbes in your bloodstream, etc. The combination of MSM with vitamin C or with colloidal silver, as well as MSM CDS protocols, which use this high dose MSM, are much stronger and therefore more recommended for advanced cancer patients. Other supplements that really work are melatonin and L-carnosine. Melatonin you should take about 6 to 8 capsules per day before you go to bed. Also, the reason behind it is that beyond your sleep and circadian rhythm modulation, melatonin has many important other health benefits. It is a very potent antioxidant as well as an anti-inflammatory hormone. Melatonin is also critical for your brain health, your gut health, and your fertility. Melatonin receptors are present in a wide variety of immune cells, and melatonin is therefore an immunomodulator, which means that it reduces excessive immune function in inflammatory conditions and enhances immune function in immunocompromised people. Melatonin also blocks the release of cytokines in inflammatory substances, and it improves type 1 diabetes. It helps also stop the progression of MS, reduces inflammatory bowel disease symptoms. It also protects the mitochondria and inhibits programmed cell death. Melatonin furthermore helps with sleep and reduces anxiety, depression, and bipolar disorders. It's also meant to reduce oxidative stress and inflammation inside the brain. It also increases BDNF and strengthens the blood-brain barrier. And it has been proposed as a treatment for several brain as well as neurological diseases. Melatonin also strengthens the barrier between the brain and the blood and helps with recovery from stroke. And there is highly credible evidence that melatonin mitigates cancer at the initiation, progression, as well as the metastasis phase. In many cases, the molecular mechanisms underpinning these inhibitory actions have been proposed, and what is rather perplexing is that the large number of processes by which melatonin reportedly restrains cancer development and growth. Then second on the list is L-carnosine, 5 to 10 grams per day recommended. The natural antioxidant dipeptide L-carnosine has been proven to have a significant anti-cancer activity both in vitro as well as in vivo. Previous studies have shown that L-carnosine inhibits the proliferation of human colorectal carcinoma cells by affecting the ATP and reactive oxygen species, so the ROS production. In other studies, it was identified that the hypoxia-inducible factor 1 alpha, also known as HIF1 alpha, as a target of L-carnosine is HCT116 cell line, and HIF1 alpha protein is overexpressed in multiple types of human cancer and is the major cause of resistance to drugs and radiation in solid tumors. And the anti-tumor properties of carnosine were recognized more than 3 decades ago already. Carnosine limits the DNA damage that can transform healthy cells into cancerous cells. Carnosine also inhibits tumor growth and helps prevent the spreading of existing cancers, so the metastasis to healthy tissue. Carnosine lowers also ATP levels in cancer cells and thereby deprives them of the energy they need to develop further. And by inhibiting also MP9 gene expression, carnosine was able to stop the spread of liver cancer cells. Carnosine also decreases so-called AGEs, which are commonly implicated in cancer. It also increases the efficacy of chemotherapeutic drugs like 5-FU. Also, by reducing mitochondrial oxidative stress, Carnosine slows the aging of cells that leads to ovarian cancer, and it has also been shown that cancer cells that are exposed directly to carnosine have less ability to thrive or proliferate, and an increase the frequency of death of those cells. And last but certainly not least, on the list of today's video on natural supplements for cancer therapy and also for prevention is vitamin C. 16 to 60 grams per day recommended, because over the years more and more studies have been published that confirm the effectiveness of vitamin C as a non-toxic chemotherapeutic agent. High-dose intravenous vitamin C can be used effectively as an adjuvant in the therapy of patients with breast cancer, with the effect of the improvement in their life quality and in their disease's outcomes. Also, high-dose vitamin C makes cancer treatment more effective because it induces pro-oxidant effects and selectively kills cancer cells. Recently, it was also elaborated the mechanism behind vitamin C as an anti-cancer agent, and vitamin C is maintained at high levels in most immune cells and can modulate many aspects of the immune response. And the intracellular ascorbate, vitamin C, acts as an enzyme cofactor for iron and copper containing oxygenase. And newly discovered enzymes in this family regulate the cell metabolisms as well as epigenetics, and the dysregulation of the activity can affect the cell phenotype, growth, and survival pathways, and stem cell phenotype. And this brief overview details some of the recent advances in our understanding of how ascorbate, also better known as vitamin C availability, can affect the hydroxylases that control the hypoxic response, and the DNA as well as the histone demethylases. And these processes play important roles in the regulation of our immune system. They alter the cell survival pathways as well as the metabolism and its functions. And hundreds of studies about vitamin C and its role in cancer prevention and as a support in cancer therapy clearly demonstrated that vitamin C is a very valuable adjuvant in any cancer therapy. Alright, and with all of that being said, this should be enough for today. I hope that you've enjoyed this presentation. If you did so, please like, share and subscribe. If you have any questions, contact us, shop@lyranare.com. I'm also going to post the complete contact information, including our toll-free number, in the description box below for you. So, until next time, stay healthy.